Good morning, viewers. Rise and shine with Global Entertainment News TV. I am your host, Bisola, ready to kickstart your day with all the fresh news and stories. And right here with me, bringing our host pack to the studio is Bella. Let's dive into today's top story. Today's top story from Punch and Guardian newspaper. Top story from the Punch. 2 U.S. pastors arrested in $50 million human trafficking fraud case. 2 church leaders in the United States have been arrested in an alleged multi-million-dollar conspiracy after multiple federal Bureau of Investigation raids across the country on Wednesday, including one in Eastbrook Country-exclusive Avila neighborhood. In a statement issued by its website on Wednesday, the U.S. Department of Justice said Michael Brannon, 56, was arrested at a mansion near Tampa, while David Taylor, 53, was arrested in North Carolina over allegation of multi-million-dollar money laundering, forced labor, and human trafficking. According to the DOJ, Taylor and Brannon are the leaders of Kingdom of God Global Church, formerly known as Joshua Media Ministry International. The Justice Department said Taylor referred to himself as Apostle and to Brannon as its executive director. The FBI official says law enforcement arrests Brannon early Wednesday at Selhouses Grisandon de Avila in Eastbrook Country, which is owned by the church, according to the property record. Investigators arrested Taylor on Wednesday morning in North Carolina, while SWAT and FBI agents also raided a hotel owned by the church in Houston. A 10-count indictment alleged that Taylor and Brannon ran call centers in Florida, Texas, Mississippi, and Michigan to solicit donations to the church.
It's actually a sad sense that something like this happen in each and every country. That it's just those that have been caught are put to justice. And one thing I like about the U.S. Law and abiding by the rules and regulations with the laws, they don't actually take this thing lightly.
Yeah.
It's either you are a man of God, a whatever you are, and then you are caught being involved in an illegal thing, you're going to be taken to court, and there's nothing that you're going to do, no matter how much there's going to be a lawyer that is going to stand against you, and then you'll be put behind bar, and then they don't accept bribe for such things like this. So that is actually the good part of it, that whoever that is being caught, are going to face the
Yeah, that's what I like about the United States. All right, let's move on. NDLEA seized 536 kilogram drugs in Adamawa. The Adamawa State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have made a seizure of 589.536 kg of assorted hard drugs within 2 months, while addressing journalists on Wednesday at the command's headquarters along Luman Road. The commander, Aliyu Abubakar, said the success record was due to the commitment to transparency, accountability, and fostering public trust in the nation's collective fight against the scourge of drug abuse and illicit trafficking. Since I took over the mantle of leadership over the past 2 months, it has been a period of intense activities, strategies, engagement, and significant breakthroughs. Our efforts have been guided by the overarching vision of our chairman, Bridge General Muhammad Buba Marwa, and extended under the 3-pronged approach of supply reduction, demand reduction, and advocacy. Abubakar disclosed that within the period, his command arrested 107 suspects across the state, including female suspects, in our unwavering resolve to dismantle drug supply chain and make Adamawa State a hostile territory for drug traffickers. We recorded the following. The seized drug includes cannabis sativa, 186.443 kg, tramadol, 334.612 kg, Estor 5, 64.197 kg, pentozacin, 4.155 kg, methamphetamine, 86 grams, codeine tablet, 6 grams. Others are promethazine injection, 36 grams, and cyclonic gram, 1 gram, all totaling 589.536 kg.
There's one thing about drugs that we are still talking about in Nigeria. Drugs on its own, it's another kind of a thing that
Yeah.
is actually bad to the health. When I'm going to still, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that someone actually went to discover that codeine that's supposed to be a cough syrup and is being administered to people that has cold is actually being abused by some people just because they wanted to get high and be in the state of hallucination. And that is really a sad one because all those things, if you're going to look at it or the way everything is being used, they are being used accordingly. But there are humans out there that feels like this thing can be consumed and then they will just put them in a state of
Hallucination.
that is it. Drugs cannot actually be eradicated completely because of some people behavior consuming it,
Yeah.
but they needed to make an awareness to youth and everyone that out there consuming drugs that this thing have a side effect. If you look at people that are actually consuming drugs, you see the way they are, they look thinner, they look pale,
Malnourished.
they look malnourished, and then they hardly even take care of themselves. This thing, if you've been taken accordingly, you won't have to be excluded from every other person or be looking as a thug or a tout. But because all this thing has been there, humans are tend to consume everything, overdose everything. That is the case that we are passing through here in Nigeria, and that it has become a norm that every youth right now just wanted to be in a state of
Yeah,
hallucination.
well, kudos to the NDLEA. All right, let's move on. Strike threat. ASU VCs declares props 525,000 naira monthly pay following the conclusion of its nationwide protest on Tuesday. Members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities are set to hold Congress to decide their next line of action. This comes as the federal government meets today to address long-standing agitation over the implementation of the renegotiated 2009 FGN-ASU agreement, which triggered nationwide protests across universities on Tuesday. Earlier this year, the President Bola Tinubu administration released 50 billion naira to settle earn academic allowance owed to universities, lecturers and staff. However, ASU has consistently demanded clear commitment on improved salaries, conditions of service, university funding, autonomy and a review of law governing the nation, the National University Commission and the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. The meeting expected to be attended by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammadu Mugaji, and representative of the National Salary, Incomes and Wages Commission is expected to produce a timetable for signing and the phased implementation of the renegotiated agreement along with related reports. Government sources in the education and labor ministries told the Punch that today's discussion would focus on reconciling the Yale Ahmed Committee draft concluded in December 2024 with the original 2009 agreement and subsequent recommendation, including the naming bridge report. Also on the table is how to phase the fiscal commitment into the national budget and produce a legally binding instrument for signature.
This is another one that we have actually been talking about when it comes to government actually neglecting some of the things that
Needed to be done.
and concerns them and needed to take a strict action about. But here we are where the ASO is actually threatening for strike after the long one that they have around that let me say in 2009 now they wanted to plan another one again because it's affecting almost everybody, even those that are going to school. If you know you have 4 years to spend, you have to make it extra 6 years because they were never school. You are just in and out of the school campus, or you were never there, while some people have already totally given up on the academic because it feels like it's not going to take them anywhere. It's really a sad way for a Nigerian to grow and actually produce leaders of tomorrow with this kind of mentality, where some right now actually feels like school is now a scam to them because the government are not keeping up to their word. And if you wanted to think for a private school, you're going to pay extra fees for, and how long would that going to, the government are not even doing anything. Someone says that if they, because the governments know that if they put much more effort into the school, they are going to see people that is going to drag them from the seats because they know what they have, they are right, they learn a lot from school, and they have so much knowledge of what power exchange is supposed to be. That is why the government decided to just neglect this school of a thing, and then just instead they send their own children outside the country just to get a proper education, then come back to take their seat. That is really sad. But everyone in this deserve equal right to education, and that has to make available to those that needed it.
Yeah. All right, moving on to today's top story from The Guardian. Corrections and panel reforms. How wanting funding legal aid keeps 53,460 pretrial inmates in jail. Owing to a lack of regular visit to correctional centers to assess the circumstances of the detention of indigent citizens awaiting trials by the industry-specific non-governmental organization, the Nigeria Bar Association (ANBA), and the judiciary, the number of pre-trial inmates in the correctional centers across the federation has continued to balloon. Out of 81,000 total inmates in Nigeria correctional facilities, 53,460 persons are awaiting trials. Over the years, non-governmental organizations focusing on prisoners' rights habitually visit correctional centers to ascertain the facts of the cases of those awaiting trials and assist in their liberty. But those are not happening again as they used to be, resulting in continuous overcrowding of correctional facilities and the entrenchment of injustice won on the most vulnerable citizens. According to legal experts, various factors such as lack of funding from international donors agencies, death of promoters of these organizations, logistic challenges, and general apathy are responsible for this decline. Even the judiciary mandated by Section 34 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act (ACJA) 2015 to visit detention facilities every month to ensure that the rights of detainees are upheld and to assess whether the conditions of detention facilities are not living up to expectations.
The correctional center, the Kirikiri, the, let me say, Kuje prison, let me say, in each and every prison in Nigeria are overcrowded with those that even that knows what they did and those that didn't even know what they did. Those they just pick from the street, and then when you wanted to look at all this thing, or if you wanted to actually analyze this thing on how the prison got to this point of overcrowded, and then out of those people, 500 plus are not even put on trial to know their offense, and some of them have actually spent 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, and still counting, and then they are waiting trial. This is the negligence of Nigerian security personnel. This is the negligence of the government. This is the worst case that you can never encounter. Someone was like, no matter how much you are stranded in Lagos, never think of going into the, like they say, police is your friend. Go to the station when if you go to any country, any state, and then you are being stranded, go to the station and then spend the night there. There are a lot of cases of someone going to the station to spend the night, and then the next thing they got killed.
Yeah.
The one that VDM did the last time was someone that didn't even commit any crime. Okay, come and pay for this. The next day, this person has already been cut open, removed some of his organ in the same station. This is the crime that rate that is going on under the security section of Nigeria, and then nothing is being done over it. Most of these people now are dying daily. Most of their family has don't even know where they are.
Yeah.
They don't even know their whereabouts. So to some of them, their family has been kidnapped and then they are dead. So they have already mourned over this person. And they don't even, if you even go to the station and then you ask of this person, they'll tell you that they don't know. They
You
don't
don't
have
have
the
the
record.
data. Yeah.
So there was this word I come across in when they said, when the person was like, if a police arrested you and then take you to station and ask you and tell you that this is the name you have to write down, tell them no, because it's not the name that they
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to use you to replace a person that they are searching for. That is very sad to be happening in a working system, in a country that have a president and all that, and then we are already living like a dumpsters in a place of a waste bin that every dirt and every rubbish is being thrown on. It's very bad.
So sad. All right, let's move on. Court deals 65-year-old estate agent 20 years for 31 million naira property fraud. Justice Ismail Ijelu of the Lagos State High Court, Ikeja, has convicted and sentenced 65-year-old Suleiman Olayiwola Gbejabila to 20 years imprisonment with the option of a 2.7 million naira fine for a 31 million naira property fraud. Gbajabila was first arraigned in 2022 before Chief Magistrate Adeola Olatunbosun on charges bordering on stealing and false representation, offences punishable under Section 287 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015. He was docked on a 2-count charge for defrauding a United Kingdom-based Nigeria Lateef Adeyemo of 31 million naira. According to the charge, Gbajabila, who represented himself as an estate agent in 2021, fraudulently collected and converted to his own, used the money meant for the purchase of a 2-bedroom flat for Adeyemo in Lagos Homes, Iponri, between September and October 2021. The case suffered several adjournments. On 3 occasions, Gbajabila was unrepresented by counsels. At one point, he presented a 5 million naira draft, but later retrieved it from Afuye, who had once represented him. On September 19, 2023, the Lagos Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC) rearranged Gbajabila on a 7-count charges bordering on stealing, obtaining by false pretense, forgery, and retention of proceeds of crimes.
Oh, this thing is not even just about Bajabiri on his own,
Yeah.
because there are so many fraudulent acts happening in when it comes to real estate in Lagos State. When other things is actually a set of a one particular brand will just come out, name it whatever. You can acquire a land at this minimum of money, and then you start paying later on and all that. They have caught not one, not two, not three, and then being broadcast about how fraudulent they are and how they are taking money from people without even giving them showing the land to them or giving them any paperwork. Okay, this is the document for the land that you purchased. This is where the land is. This is where it is, and it's really a sad one that we ourselves are actually doing this. Someone that is at United States, they actually send you a 31 million naira to acquire a 2-bedroom flat at Ipori, and then all you have to do is just to convert the money into your own. Some families there are scamming their own self with when it comes to my brother help me purchase a land.
Buy land for me.
I think like the work of, okay, let me say, money exchanging and all that, except you go through the right person, that is when you know that your money is safe. But even if you still give it to the right person, there's this kind of a fear that is going to be you. Is this, hope I'm not being scammed. And if it turns out that you're not being scammed, then you know that this person can be trustworthy. But at this rate now, yes, that 2.4 is actually a small money.
2.7 is small money for 31 million.
For 31 million. What, it doesn't even amount to anything.
At all.
He has to pay the person back. If you can't pay the person back, then let the land be given
To him.
to the person. that sent him this money. That does not even change. 2.7 does not amount to anything.
At all. What can 2.7 million naira do? All right, let's move on. Tariff hike cuts 2.4 million of internet amid soaring data consumption. 50% tariff hike on telephone services have continued to impact the sector, with subscriptions further plummeting. Latest subscription statistics released yesterday by the Nigeria Communication Commission (NCC) showed a significant drop in active telephone users, including the internet, both on narrowband and broadband platforms. According to the July data, major telecom operators lost a combined 2.40 million subscribers in a single month, with the most casualty being the Airtel network. This lowered the country active users base from 171.7 million in June to 169.3 million in July, causing Nigeria teledensity to fall from 79.22% to 78.11%. In fact, since February, subscription rate has been on a decline. This data show that internet users across various platforms, including GSM, fixed wires, ISP, and VoLP technologies, fell from 141.1 million in June to 138.7 million in July, with broadband users also dropping from 105.7 million to 104 million. Ironically, while fewer people are using the internet, those who remain are consuming more data than ever. NCC data showed a massive jump in data consumption, rising from 1.04 million terabytes in June to 1.1 terabytes in July. This trend has been confirmed by recent financial reports from MTN and Airtel.
Right. We talked about it earlier when there's telecom tariff hike of 50% with the government and all that, and then we Nigeria there actually talks about it that this is actually another bad step for many of us. This government does not just come to make things hard, but instead it came to actually make things more complicated than the usual form. No matter how hard it's supposed to be, we shouldn't have to start. There are some people that cannot even buy
A call card.
a
Let's talk
call
of
card.
data.
Talk more of a data. There are people that cannot even have buy a Wi-Fi in their home and then start making use of it. A whole lot of all this is actually happening in the country that let me say, the infrastructure, the inflation is dropping.
Drastically.
It's getting high every day. The inflation is getting high. The infrastructure are not properly structured to the way that it can benefit both the poor masses and even the middle class. Because right now, if you look at it, there's no longer anything like the middle class that are actually live comfortable. Everyone is now moving from one end meet to the other, and here we are. If you have an urgent communication and then you that haven't eaten for days and then you have the money, do you think you wanted to opt for data in the first place? You have to eat first and then
Before you remember
data, and that is a sad one for any country to be passing through. We are all in one at once. Nothing is, you can't even jump and pass that this one is, then let me opt for the next one. If you go to let me say any communication center to make a registration, you are going to hear price 3,000 naira, 2,000 naira. How did we even get to this place? You can use at least 500 naira to make a registration of SIM, but it's jumping to 3,000 naira, and some people does not even see that money to eat in a day.
And after you've done the SIM, now you'll be looking for how to even do a call card, recharge, and even do a data as well. All right, let's move on. NAFDAC arrests 15 in crackdown on counterfeit drugs, sex enhancement. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has carried out a special enforcement operation against imposters and hawkers of sex enhancement drugs, as well as fake, adulterated, and other unwholesome pharmaceuticals across the country. More than 15 offenders were arrested for various violations, The agency said the operation targets an assortment of unregistered, fake and substandard pharmaceutical products, including aphrodisiacs, oxytocin, narcotic analgesics such as tramadol and morphine, sex enhancement drugs, antibiotics and painkillers, among others. Director of Investigation and Enforcement, Dr. Martins Oluyomade, disclosed that raids were conducted in Lagos, Kaduna, Abuja, and Asaba, where importers and peddlers were found selling expired, unregistered, banned, and counterfeit medicine. Oluyomade, who also served as chairman of the Federal Task Force on Counterfeit and Fake Drugs and Unwholesome Processed Foods, stated that all offending products recovered during the raids were evacuated, while the suspects remain in custody pending the conclusion of the investigation. He estimated the value of the confiscated products at over 111 million naira.
Hey, will I even say that this is another side of Nigeria, or it's another whole drama for Nigeria? Fake drugs has been existing.
Yeah.
Sex enhancement has become another um, product that is moving fast in Nigeria, while the men are actually buying enlargement, private part enlargement, and then the ladies are looking for something to actually tighten and stitch up the private part as well, and then it's becoming another whole drama for to experience in Nigeria, because I don't understand why the men would be looking for the one that is going to enlarge and the ladies are looking for the one that is going to that will tighten. Where would the big one go into? So you are looking for something to enhance it instead of you to actually take the natural way, or the fruits and all that that can actually enhance your body and then make you a better. But instead, you wanted to go into the expired drugs. You don't even read the date. You don't even read if those things are actually
Good for you.
good for you. But instead, it is expired. I know most of those people that are into this herbal drugs and all that are actually known what to do, because if they wanted to go through the NAFDAC and all that, they are going to pay a large sum of money to actually put the NAFDAC number of that product at that time. But the fake one is what I don't understand. Why are you selling fake drugs to citizens? This is killing, this is harmful. But you instead, just because you are too greedy not to wanted to throw it away, you still wanted to sell it to people just to make your money. This is the greediness and the selfishness of humans that we actually come across every day, and it's very sad.
Well, I'll blame the seller and also the buyer, because if someone is selling a fake drug to you, the first thing you do before paying is to check the expiry date. Check a lot of things before paying for it.
Nigeria we are not in Russia, but we are always in a rush. So far as that, and the funniest part that we are so greedy. The moment we hear price that is
Yes.
in a
It's been
small
reduced,
amount, then
yes.
we are
Go
ready
for
to
it.
actually go for it. And those marketers has already targeted that Nigerian has less time to actually go through the write up,
Informations.
to know even know when the drugs has expired and when it hasn't. So we just wanted to purchase it. It's only in Nigeria you see people hawking drugs on the streets, in the marketplace, and all that. They don't even know what and what,
Where they got it from.
but you see them hawking it, and then people are actually buying it. It's a sad one.
Yeah, it's a sad one. It's wrong. All right, thank you, viewers, for joining us on the breakfast show today. I've been your host, Bisola. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more news and updates on Global Entertainment News TV. Until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.